Because I've been in my childhood bedroom most of my life, I've got no stuff, got no furniture. The amount of aunties and uncles trying to lump shit, coffee tables, mugs. Everyone's got a bloody mug to give you. I got a mug from my auntie which has got a motivational quote on it, and I hate a motivational quote. The quote is, "You've got the same amount of hours in the day as Beyonce." But not the resources, Janet. I showed it to Peter, I said, "That's bollocks, isn't it?" And he went, "Yeah, so did Rose West, see how that turned out." I was like, "It wasn't my issue with the mug, but you go for it, darling." I've become a bit obsessed with tap because I'm on my local sell and swap Facebook group. If you're not on yours, there will be one in your local area. Have a look at it after the show. What it is, if you're not familiar with the sell and swap concept, it's people with nothing to do with their lives trying to sell and swap utter shit that they found in their houses. There was a woman on there the other day. She wanted to swap these sausages. She bought some cauldron vegetarian sausages. She realised they weren't vegan. She wanted to swap them for a bag of fruit, e.g. plums. I know what fruit is. I don't need an example. What is this fruit? Some of the shit you get on here. Wooden snail. Right. 4 comments. Who's looking at that going, "I need more information"? What is that? I don't know what that is. Unusual unglazed vase. You say unusual. I think someone's wrapped some ham round itself. That's what it looks like to me. This one's... It's horrible, that, isn't it? Horrible. Let's talk about another bank that I'm in trouble with. I'm actually in proper trouble with this bank. This is the Royal Bank of Scotland. Right, so Peter worked not for RBS, he worked in an RBS building in Pigeon Park in Birmingham, if you know it. He was working in an office space in this building. And I went into that office with him last summer. And as a result of that, he had to write a letter of apology to the manager of the building a few days later. And I'll just read to you that letter. He wrote, "Dear Sir, I am writing to explain the incident in your office and offer my sincere apologies for any involvement on my part. I invited a guest to the building to show them a project we had been working on and benefit from his expertise. What had actually happened was we were on the piss and he had a bottle of wine under his desk. At security, he was asked to enter his name for a guest pass. I did not see what he typed because I was dealing with some emails on my phone. They get you to type in your name on a fancy touchscreen as you go into the RBS building. I didn't want to do that. I was feeling silly. So what I did is I just typed in the first 2 words that came to mind, which happened to be rhubarb bikini. I don't know why. There was a short discussion between my guest and the security guard. This is where the security guard quite rightly said, "What's that?" And I said, "It's pronounced Ryan." And he said, "It's spelt rhubarb." And I said, "Yes, it's Irish." Then a pass was printed and we were allowed into the building. Here is that pass. Subsequently, an image of the pass appeared on social media. I put that on Instagram with the caption, "Someone broke into RBS with the pseudonym Rhubarb Bikini." The minute I discovered this, I asked for this image to be removed, but I appreciate by that point damage had been done to the reputation of the business. It got about 10,000 likes. I offer a full and sincere apology for this. Regards, Peter. He was taken in for a disciplinary a few days after we did this. They slid this pass over to him and said, "Do you know this man?" I just love the idea of him going, "That's Rhubarb Bikini!" A few weeks later, I received this letter to my home address in the name of Colonel Rhubarb Bikini. Full disclosure, that's because I've opened an account with RBS in the name of Rhubarb Bikini. Here's me opening the account. Colonel, I went with Colonel, I thought that was funny. Are you known by any other name? No. Born in North Korea, living with parents. He's lived a life. He's lived a life, old Rhubarb. They ask you to fill out a form when you've opened an RBS account to say, "Is there anything else that would have made your application experience better today?" I thought about that long and hard and I put, yeah, a hand job would have done it, actually. A little hand job would have taken the edge off, really. The real friction is on Twitter. Mum is also on Twitter. She is at Mama Lycett. You can follow her. She posts her paintings. She also searches not only my name, but searches what people are writing to me, what people are writing about me. So she will have seen all the tweets that you sent tonight. She loves reading them. She'll go through all of them. And she also sometimes will show me tweets when, like, I've been on telly. Every time you go on telly, there's a bit of nastiness. It comes with the job. There was one she showed me which I loved, which was, I'd just been on Blankety Blank with David Williams, which, to be fair, was dog shit. And I got a tweet which just said, "You're not funny." And I appreciated the succinctness of the tweet, but what I loved about it is I looked at the woman's profile who'd sent it, and she's a self-esteem coach. Maybe she's the self-esteem coach of a rival comedian. Maybe Ramesh was feeling down on his luck. I thought he'd bring me down. But this is something I'm getting used to, but like sometimes people will now tweet when they've seen me out and about, say they've seen me somewhere, they might take a picture, and that's fine, comes with the job. But sometimes I don't want Mum to know where I've been. And this, the worst example for this, I said to her one morning, I said, "I'm going to Manchester to see my friend Josephine, we're going to have a light lunch, and then I'm going to get the train back to Birmingham." Went to Manchester, got totally shit-faced with Josephine, had a pasty on the train on the way home, little pasty to soak up the alcohol. Got home, Mum was like, "Oh, being healthy, are you?" I was like, yeah. I mean, I had a couple of glasses of wine, but I had a salad at lunch. She was like, "Explain this. Somebody took a picture of me on the bloody train, didn't they?" Really enjoyed that pasty, as you can see. Looks worryingly like that when you put it together as well. Could have been Prime Minister. I'm trying to learn German at the minute. I went with German because I just thought it was funny. Hazelnut, Hasselnuss. It's a funny language. And I'm using Duolingo. Do people use Duolingo? It gives you like a composite sentence. It sounds like I'm sponsored. I'm not. Like, it's just good. It's a good app. They give you composite sentences. They get progressively harder. One of my friends is on really advanced German at the minute, and one of the sentences he had to translate the other week is, "It is a war crime." I'm not sure when that's going to be useful, really, sort of wandering around Berlin. "This sauerkraut is disgusting. It is a war crime, how disgusting it is." Now, guys, I want to tell you about a little project I've been working on for the last year. And there's no nice way of saying this. There's no easy way of saying this. I'm just going to have to rip the plaster off. For the last year, just under a year, I have been trying to destroy the career of Tom Daly. There's no easy way of saying it. I've said it. It's gone. It's out there now. I've said it. I should caveat all of this by saying I think Tom Daly is amazing in lots of ways. He's an Olympic diver. I'm sure you're aware of Tom Daly. He's gay. I think he was pushed into coming out as gay before he was necessarily ready. There was a lot of fuss about it from the gay press, and he's been a brilliant gay rights advocate in lots of ways. You might have seen that him and his husband Lance Black announced a few months ago that they're having a baby together. Shouldn't be a brave thing to do in this day and age, but it was. He got a lot of nastiness, and he's been serene throughout the whole thing, so I do think he's brilliant. However, I now want to slag him off. So Tom Daly irked me last summer for two reasons, two Instagram posts, and I'll show them to you now. This is the first one. This is him at Gay Pride. Love the way that he's extending his arm out there to show the parade march there. Love the look of a smile on his face. Beautiful framing there. Before I go into too much detail about this, what's going on with the hand? Where is the other finger? I've looked at it loads. I don't know if it's a lighting thing, whether it was edited out. I don't know how that happens. I've got no issue with any of that, really, apart from the weird finger. I've got no issue with this other post. Beautifully framed again. His skin looks radiant in that little triangle. Marvellous. Brave to wear a tank top, but he seems to manage it. I think it's wonderful. It's a lovely... I've got no issue with any of this. I think it's all brilliant. I have no issue with any of this as well. Happy Pride, everyone. It's been so awesome to take part in my first ever Pride. He'd not been before. But let's not forget why we have this day and how much more we have to fight for in many other social justice movements around the world. No issue with any of that. Brilliant that he went to Pride. I think we all should at some point in our lives. It's good fun, if nothing else. My issue with both of these posts is not what's in them, it's what's underneath them, and that is this. At Barclays UK, #ad. That means that Tom Daly was sponsored by Barclays to go to Pride. And I don't have a problem with Tom Daly being sponsored to do lots of things. I understand when you're an athlete, you've got to make your money while you can. You're not monetizable forever. You might break your leg. Totally get being sponsored. But to be sponsored to go to Pride, which is a political event, it made me uncomfortable. It's sort of like going Black Lives Matter with Tesco. It made me uncomfortable. Let's talk about art now. I like to talk about art. Yeah, a bit of culture. My mother retired a few years ago, and she's now painting in her retirement. This is one of my mother's paintings. Isn't that glorious? This is of our family friend Patrick. Not only does it look like Patrick, I feel like it captures his essence. It's a beautiful painting. Based on these, I've been inspired to do my own. They've not come out as well, I'm going to be honest with you. I did one of Amanda Holden with a Britain's Got Talent buzzer for a head. Slightly different things that we're doing. Mum will do this sort of thing, two women on a bench having a conversation, beautiful, skillful watercolour there, the skill and the time it takes to do something like that. I did a man having coffee poured in his arse. We're just doing different things. We're doing different things. This came out of, I was on holiday with a friend of mine who just had a colonic irrigation. I've never had one, so I was like, what's it like? He's like, I've not had one either. This girl, quite attractive, took me into a room, put a tube up. I thought the tube did everything, but actually she took it out, stood me over this thing, and then just said, go. And she said, I can wait here, I can wait outside, whatever you want. I was like, who's asking her to stay? No, look me in the eye. I'd like us to share this. So based on that, I did this painting. I haven't got a name for it yet. I was thinking maybe Britain in springtime, but I'm open to suggestions. Do send me tweets in.